Welcome back to Time Out with J and G. I am Jay over here, and it's G over there.
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
And today we have a very big episode. It's the NBA All-Star full rosters were announced. The Pro Bowl for the NFL has been announced. We got a lot going on there. But how's your weekend going so far, Levi?
Oh, it's going good. Got what I needed to get done today. Excited for the episode. I'm excited for Tennessee versus Kentucky tonight.
All right. So we'll get this podcast started with our timeout moment of the week. So I'm going to let you go ahead and you name your moment of the week.
My moment of the week is Austin Reeves is 31?
Yeah.
Against the Celtics. Being a Celtics fan, you kind of can see early or even before the game begins if you're going to lose or whatever's going on. And I figured either D'Lo or Reeves was going to go off. And, I mean, technically they both did. I think D'Lo had, 16 points and 14 assists or something like that. But my moment of the week goes to Austin Reeves for his 31-point performance against the Boston Celtics.
With no LeBron and no Anthony Davis, too, that night.
Yep, no LeBron. That's also a reason why I figured that they were going to win because no AD, no LeBron.
Yeah.
It just happens like that, It's weird.
Yeah. My moment of the week is freshman guard Juju Watkins dropping 51 points against Stanford. And on top of that, she had 51 of our team's 67 points. So I have the stat up here, right? And it says she is the only Division I player, men or women's, to score 50-plus points and have 75% or more of his or her team's points in the same game over the past 25 years. So nobody, at least in the past 25 years, nobody in college basketball, men or women, has ever scored that amount of their team's points. I mean, 51 out of 67 is just kind of insane.
And something off of that, I actually read about some of that earlier. I think it was 5 days ago. USC played Washington and lost by 3.
Okay.
She was trying to get more reps in, more shots, and get everything, trying, you know what I mean, get more practice in.
Right.
And the security guards basically called the coach and was like, hey, do you want us to get her out of here? And the coach was like, no, let her be. Let her do what she's got to do. 5 days later, we get this. I mean, it was pretty impressive.
That's a Kobe moment right there. That's something you hear like
mm-hmm.
Kobe.
And I believe she's a freshman too.
Yep, freshman. Yep. So I mean, shout out because you got her and you got Caitlin Clark or like Angel Reese and stuff. And I'm sure there's more big female college basketball stars, but hey, I mean, I can't really think of too many men's college basketball players. I feel like the women's college basketball is kind of taking over right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, it also comes with the territory that men are usually 1 and done or 2 and done, and the females usually stay 3 to 4 years.
Yeah. So we got a couple of different things I wanted to tackle here before we got into the main stuff today. Just a couple small things. Actually, this is basically breaking news. I mean, this came out 10, 15 minutes before we started recording the episode. And this is per Shams Charania. And shout out, he was also on the Kenny Beecham podcast on Thursday. I don't know if you watched that. It was a 45-minute. He came into the studio and he talked. That was pretty cool. But it's breaking news: Zach LaVine to undergo season-ending surgery on his foot, which basically means now the Bulls can't trade him to deadline. He's unable to be traded. So we might have seen Zach LaVine's last game in a Bulls uniform, but he's not going to get traded at least till the offseason.
I mean, it sucks for LaVine, but also it's kind of just this has been long coming for this breakup to happen between the Bulls and everyone else. I mean, the team's just not good, like we've talked about before. They just need to just sell everything they have, basically, or most of the stuff they have, except their young players. Get as much draft as they can, and then go ahead. But it really does suck for LaVine.
And unfortunately, the Bulls front office does not agree with you. They do not want to sell anything. So they just want to stick there. I heard apparently they're in talks where they want to see if they can extend DeMar DeRozan. So I don't know what's going on with that Bulls team right now. But okay, yeah, just figured that's breaking news. Sucks for Zach LaVine. He won't get traded. But the next one I had was we'll actually go back because Juju Watkins had a 51 point. Somebody else also had 51 points, Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey had 51 points, 7 for 9 from 3. It's insane versus Utah. And that's big. I mean, that was the first game without Joel Embiid, I believe, with this injury. So, I mean, it's either one of the first couple of games without Joel Embiid. So, I mean, they're probably going to struggle a bit without Embiid, but hey, shout out to Tyrese Maxey for dropping 51.
Shout out to him. That's just impressive. It's hard scoring 10 points in the NBA, let alone 50.
Yeah.
It's hard scoring more than 20 in any level of basketball, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Unless you're just that guy. And Maxey, 51 on very efficient shooting?
Very efficient shooting. 17 for 27 from the field and 7 for 9 from 3.
That's just we rarely ever see that.
Yeah, we're kind of spoiled
aspect.
nowadays. I was gonna say, because like we've had a couple 60s, a couple 70s, and a couple 50s now. So I understand people were like a 50-point game doesn't mean as much now as it might have did 10 years ago. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy basketball enough where it's like, listen, I'll take a 50-pointer every week. It's fun to watch.
Oh yeah, especially when a person they're hot. You know what I mean?
They're
hitting their stride, and it seems like they could throw something up from half court and it's gonna go in. You know.
Yep. So keeping it with the Philadelphia 76ers, we have another report from Shams here that Joel Embiid has been diagnosed with a displaced meniscus flap at his left knee and is considering surgery. Embiid's chances of repeating his MVP are likely over because he can only miss like 3 or 4 more games and he's disqualified. And I mean, there's a chance he just doesn't come back this season at all with surgery.
Oh yeah, that's also another thing. Is just like when it first came out, it said I forget what it exactly was, but then now that came out is like how long if he gets the surgery, how long is he going to be out before he can fully come back? Are we just going to have to just shell this season and next season? Can he make it back for playoffs? Like,
and I think honestly, it depends on how the Sixers are looking going into the playoffs. They're the 4 or 5 seed right now, I believe. Maybe they're 3. I don't know, but like they're gonna. It's gonna be rough if they sit him for most of the season, and if they get to the end of the season and they're a play-in team, they might just wrap it up and say, "Listen, we're not gonna make you come back. We're just gonna let you sit out." But if they hold their own and they're still a top seed going into the playoffs, they might try to rush him back. But I mean, that's a knee injury. You don't want him. I mean, we all saw the clip where he went up for a lob and he just fell over because he couldn't jump. Like it was obvious his knee was screwed up. And the last thing he wants to do is like ruin his knee. Like, right, he already has a displaced flap at his meniscus, which just sounds awful, right? Now we don't need him coming back and just destroying his knee because he wanted to play.
Yeah, and I mean when he first came into the league, I know he had injuries coming out of Kansas.
Yeah,
that's why he didn't play. I think his first year, I think he was on the shelf for injury reasons. And I mean, it just sucks to see this. You know, I wish injuries weren't a part of the sport, but it is. And I don't know. I pray to him if he gets the surgery done, which I believe he will. I pray that he has a 100% fully recovery and he comes back better than ever.
Exactly. So we had a trade. It's not a big trade, but we have a trade I want to report. This came on Thursday night, I believe. It's the Memphis Grizzlies, are trading Steven Adams to the Houston Rockets for Victor Oladipo and 3 second-round picks. Steven Adams is expected to be recovered from his knee surgery that cost him this entire season, and the Rockets front office believes Adams brings the toughness and leadership that Coach Ime Udoka craves for his team, and that he can still impact the game in a limited role behind Sengun.
No, I mean, Adams is that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't really shine too much during OKC because he was playing with Russ, and Russ is Russ.
He shined in his
he shined in his role.
In what you knew he was going to do, he was fantastic. Offensive rebound, physical,
Oh yeah, and the other thing about that is the leadership and what he has gone through in his career so far. I feel like that brings a lot to a very, very young Rockets team, especially when Ime Udoka loves his defense.
Yeah. And it gives you something different, right? We know Alperen Sengun is like, I'm not giving him a Jokic comp because I don't think that's fair, but he's a similar game style where they're more finesse, passing, that kind of thing. Like now you're bringing in a physical backup center because they have Jacques Lindell. They signed in the offseason from the Suns, and he just hasn't been very good this year. They didn't get out of him what they thought they were going to get. So you come into the next season and you got a veteran, like just a veteran bruising tough guy backup big man. So it's like it's a completely different style center than what your starting center is.
Oh yeah, and that can throw teams off. It can help you do stuff. And hey, there could be a situation to where they're both out there. You know what I mean? Because I believe
Yeah.
Alfred can shoot the three.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a theory in a world to where, depending on who you're playing, both of them are out there at the same time. You could have a Steven Adams and Alfred Sengun pick and roll.
Yikes! I never thought I'd see the day. That is insane. And I mean, on the other end, Victor Oladipo, he hasn't played. How much has he even played this year at all?
I'm not 100% sure. I know he's just been hit with injuries and he just hasn't been playing like his old self. But
he hasn't played. I'm pulling up his stats here, and it has like the last so many games. He hasn't suited up, and I couldn't even tell you how long. Yeah, but he's had injuries, so I don't know. It's not too much of a trade there, but I thought we might as well. So I have one more basketball one, and then we have a football one. And this is per HP Basketball. I'm not sure exactly who that is, but the Brooklyn Nets reportedly received multiple offers of 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. 2 league sources said the Nets have claimed multiple offers of 5 first-rounders for Mikal Bridges, but I'm pretty skeptical on that front. One, it might be 5 first with swaps and or heavily protected picks, and if the offer was really 5 first, why share that and then continue to say they're not interested in trading Mikal Bridges? So what I think he's saying is like, why? I don't know. This kind of a weird one. So he's saying he thinks it might be 5 first-round picks, but it's like 3 of them are protected or with pick swaps and all that kind of stuff. Because it's like the Nets keep saying they're not trading Mikal Bridges. So why are they coming out and saying they've gotten 5 unprotected they've been offered 5 unprotected first-round picks for him? It's kind of a weird thing.
Maybe that's just to deter people from calling them and asking them about Bridges. Because maybe it's gotten to the point where they say we're not trading him, but people are still calling or inquiring about him. So they're just like, hey, no, we're not taking any offers. People have offered us this. We didn't take it. We're not taking it. Stop calling us.
Maybe, but what if they're lying about it, right? And they're saying, oh, we've been offered 5 first-round picks. So teams that want to trade for him are going to then be like, oh, well, we need to send you 3 first-round picks and a couple players. Like they're trying to up his trade value by kind of like lying about the offers they've gotten.
I mean, that's always possible. I don't know. I don't see the Nets with where they're at and where they can be. I just don't see them trading him.
It's interesting. So one more here, and this is a rumor that Ben Johnson, he's been the offensive coordinator for the Lions, and he just went back to the Lions. The rumor is Ben Johnson was, in quotes, turned off by the Washington Commanders ownership, thinking that they're basketball guys and that they're a little too confident in their football opinions. Per Jenna Lane, ESPN. Jenna Lane also heard that Ben Johnson didn't interview well. A lot of he said, she said going on. Which is, again, like I said, he ended up going back to the Lions. I guess really what he's saying is that, like, hey, I don't like how the Commanders are being run, so I don't want to go coach there.
I mean, fair.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we always knew the Commanders were a quote-unquote shit show for a while now, but, like, I mean, he doesn't have to go if he doesn't want to go.
I would say, honestly, he probably has a better gig being the Lions offensive coordinator than the Commanders head coach.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Lions were just in the NFC Championship, and, I mean, if he left, Eminem would probably drop a diss track on him, so got to avoid that.
So the Commanders got their guy anyway with Dan Quinn. So, I mean, I think Ben Johnson would have been better probably. But then again, Dan Quinn has that coaching experience. So, I don't know. But that's all. I just wanted a few things to hit on before we got into the episode. So, I guess, what do we want to get to? Do you want to go into the NBA All-Stars right now?
Oh, yeah, we can go into the NBA All-Stars.
All right. So, I guess I had it here. you said you have the names listed.
Yeah, I wrote down everything before the show.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and list off? You do the East, and I'll do the West. Just list off the starters. I'll do the starters, and then we'll go to the bench.
All right, the East All Stars are captain Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, who will probably end up getting replaced,
Mm-hmm.
Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, and Jason Tatum.
All right, and then the West starters are captained by LeBron James, and his guards are Luka and Shea, with Kevin Durant and Nikola Jokic being the backcourt or front court. I'm sorry.
All right, now our reserves are Paulo Banchero, Bam Adebayo, Jaylen Brown, Brunson, Maxey, Mitchell, and Julius Randle. I'm kind of surprised to see two Knicks, but
I think they deserved it. I think they were both playing well enough.
Oh,
Um,
also,
no,
side note.
let me get to this West real quick, and we'll jump into it. Western Conference reserves. We have Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Karl Anthony Towns.
I'm surprised that Trae Young didn't make the reserves.
I agree.
Because I believe I've seen some a statistic that he was averaging like over 25 points per game and 10 assists, and this is the first time a person that averaged that did not make the All-Star team.
Yeah, so I thought Trae Young probably should have been an All-Star too, but then I'm looking, it's like, okay, Trae Young should be an All-Star, but then you look at their All-Star reserves, and it's like, these guys all deserve to be there too. So it's like, I don't know, you can't really take anybody, like, and I've been seeing people talk about it, and like at the end of the day, people are going to get snubbed every year. It's just how it works. And unfortunately, this year it's just.
What'd you say?
I said, unfortunately, like every year, somebody gets snubbed from the All-Star team, and this year just happened to be Trae Young. It happens, unfortunately.
Yeah. The other thing that I'm surprised about, I mean, I shouldn't say I'm surprised, but it's interesting. De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, neither one of them made the All-Star team.
That was another crazy one too. Again, like that's like a weird thing because you look at it, it's like the Timberwolves got 2 All-Stars, probably deserved. The Clippers got 2 All-Stars, probably deserved. The Lakers getting 2 All-Stars, okay, maybe. I mean, they're Anthony Davis and LeBron James, so it's kind of hard not to. Same with the Suns, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. It's like some teams that are. I mean, the Suns have been good recently, so I can't, I guess, put them in that category. But it's like, I probably De'Aaron Fox. Well, I mean, even I think Sabonis is having a better season than Cat, but I don't know. It is what it is. Like I said, people are going to get snubbed, and unfortunately, it's who it was this year.
I believe Sabonis is averaging around 20 points. I don't know if it's 19 or 20, but it's around 20 points. I think around 12 rebounds and like 7.5 assists.
Yeah,
so
he's.
far.
I know he's averaging damn near triple double. It's right now. It's 20 points even, 13 rebounds, 8 assists.
Okay. I mean, the only thing I got to say is, only reason why Sabonis is not in MVP contention is because of the points. Let's be honest.
I think the last ladder that came out, he was 7th.
No, and I mean contention. I mean like top 5.
Well, I think it's even funnier though. Is like, how is he 7th in the MVP ladder and not an All-Star?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But then again, reserves are coaches, so maybe these coaches don't be watching basketball. I mean, they're, you know what I mean. It's kind of weird.
Who knows? Alrighty. So on to, I guess you want to go to NFL coaching changes?
Yeah, go ahead. Well, actually, no. Let's do the Pro Bowl rosters, and then we'll go into the coaching changes.
All right. So for the NFC, the offense for the quarterbacks is Brock Purdy, who's actually being replaced by Jalen Hurts. Dak Prescott, who's getting replaced by Baker Mayfield. And Matthew Stafford, who's getting replaced by Geno Smith.
Wow, none of them are okay. Wow.
Yeah. For running backs, it's CMC is getting replaced by Jahmyr Gibbs. Obviously, because if you're in a Super Bowl, you don't play in the Pro Bowl. You don't do anything in the Pro Bowl because they're risking injury. The next running back is DeAndre Swift and Kyron Williams.
Okay.
At fullback, Kyle Juszczyk. He is getting replaced by C.J. Ham, the Ham Man.
Let's go, CJ.
At wide receiver, we got C.D. Lamb, Puka Nakua, A.J. Brown, who's getting replaced by Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Okay, I like that.
And Mike Evans, who's getting replaced by DK Metcalf.
Does it say why those two aren't playing?
No.
Probably just opting out, honestly.
Yeah, they might. It was just on the NFL. I think it was the NFL website or NFL app or something like that, and it basically just told me who's replacing who and who made it.
Yeah, they're probably just opting not to play.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Evans has made it how many times? He's probably just like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. At tight end, we have George Kittle, and he's being replaced by Jake Ferguson.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then the other tight end is Laporta.
Sam Laporta.
Then at tackle, we have Trent Williams, who's getting replaced by Tristan Wirfs.
Okay.
Penny Sewell. And I believe it's Penny Sewell.
Penny Sewell.
Yeah. And then the last one, I believe, is Lane Johnson.
Okay. Yep, that's deserving.
Yep. And then at guard, we have Zach Martin, who's getting replaced by Tyler Smith.
Okay, so Cowboy for Cowboy.
Cowboy for Cowboy. Then we have Chris Lindstrom.
Okay.
And Landon Dickerson.
Okay.
Then at center, obviously, Jason Kelce. And Frank Ragnow as the backup.
Okay, I think that. Anybody snubbed, do you think?
Not really. I mean, this is a pretty good thing. Maybe Hurts over Matthew Stafford to just straight up make it.
Hurts is playing anyway, so I don't.
Yeah.
No, I think this is a pretty good list. I like it.
Oh yeah, me too. And then to the defense, we have defensive ends. We have Nick Bosa, who is getting replaced by DeMarcus Lawrence.
Oh wow, okay.
Then we have Montez Sweat and Aiden Hutchinson. Then for the D tackle, we have Aaron Donald, obviously.
Yeah.
We have Dexter Lawrence.
Aaron Donald's one of those just shoot, he's just gonna get it every year now because of his name.
Oh yeah. And I mean he does put up good stats. He put up good stats.
I feel like maybe it's because the Rams weren't as good this year, but he just I don't know. He was good, but it wasn't like one of those dominant he might be the best player on the defensive side of the ball. He just didn't have that this year.
Yeah. Also, that Rams defense was not the best. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it
was lacking.
He's still really good, but I think the reign of him being the no doubt best player in the defense it's gone.
Oh yeah. And then I already said Dexter Lawrence.
Yes.
All right, then we have
Dexy baby.
Then we have Javon Hargrave, who's being replaced by Kenny Clark.
Okay.
Then we go to the outside linebackers. We have Micah Parsons, Daniil Hunter, and Hassan Reddick.
Yeah.
Then the middle linebackers, this is a group right here. We have Fred Warner, who's getting replaced by Demario Davis.
Oh, okay.
And the other linebacker is Bobby Wagner. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I just wasn't locked in enough because I didn't realize he was having a Pro Bowl season. I mean, he got a lot of tackles, but tackles aren't really a great stat because you can't tell where the tackles are coming from. I remember a couple years ago, Jalen Smith led the league in tackles on the Cowboys, but he was awful. If you're tackling a guy 15 yards past the line of scrimmage, it doesn't mean as much as like plugging up a run hole. I mean, like I said, maybe I just wasn't locked in enough. But okay. I mean, hey, he got it, but I don't know.
And just to preface this again, this was from the NFL website.
Right.
I'm just saying out there. Now to cornerbacks, we have De'Aaron Bland, which I mean,
Duran every time, man. Duran.
Hey, I gotta get something wrong. All right. Then we have Devon Witherspoon, Jalen Johnson, and Tre'Davious Ward, who's being replaced by Darius Slay.
Okay.
Then at free safety, we have Jesse Bates. And then at strong safety, we have Budda Baker and Julian Love.
Well, why is there only one free safety?
I don't know. That's
okay.
That's just how it was. Like on, not to spoil anything, but on the AFC defense, there's only one strong safety.
That's strange. Okay.
Yeah. Now to special teams, the long snapper is Andrew DePaulo.
You know where he plays? I'm not familiar with who that is.
No, I did not write down the
what was his name?
Andrew.
Okay.
It's DePaola. I don't want to screw it up too many times.
Okay. Andrew DePaulo. Vikings. He's a Vikings long snapper. 36 years old.
And then the
He's
punter.
From Parktown, Maryland. Okay. Go ahead.
Then the punter and place kicker, both Cowboys. We got Brian Unger, however you say his name.
Yeah, Brian
Anger. What did you say?
It's Brian Anger.
Okay. And then the place kicker, Brandon Aubrey.
That's right, baby. The rookie that's not really a rookie.
And then the kick returner, which I guess goes as punt returner too. I guess returner in general. Rashid Shaheed.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then just a straight up special teams player was Jalen Reeves-Maybin. I mean, when the Lions did fake punts, I believe he ran the ball for like 12 yards.
Yeah.
He threw a pass, I think, for like 15, 20 yards.
You're right.
So man was doing a lot. But he's being replaced by Nick Billor.
Okay.
The reason, I have no clue.
Cool. That's a solid. I mean, I probably won't be watching the game if I'm being real with you, but that's cool.
Are they even doing a game, or is it just all the? All the games and stuff?
Would change why they wouldn't be doing a game?
Is it still the two-hand touch?
What? Two-hand touch?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl changed.
That's right. Yeah, this will be the second year the event consists of skills competitions and no contact flag. It's flag football.
Okay.
Rather than actual. Wow, I forgot about that. That's why I remember last year I didn't watch it, and I couldn't remember why. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's cool, I guess, because they weren't hitting each other anyway. So whatever.
That is what it is, I guess. All right, now to the AFC. We have Tua. Quarterbacks, we have Tua, we have Lamar, and we have Mahomes, with the replacements if one of them or both of them, because we know Mahomes probably won't play.
We won't, no.
Yeah. The replacements are going to be C.J. Stroud and Gardner Minshew.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Good for Gardner.
Yeah.
Hopefully
so
he finds a home, because he's not going to be the starting quarterback in Indianapolis next year. So hopefully he finds somewhere.
Yeah, hopefully. So I don't know which one's going to replace Mahomes. But I think Lamar and Tua are both going to play. But again, it's in the air. Or I guess.
Nobody's took it yet.
I guess not. I mean, the games are tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Again, this was off the NFL website. Who knows when they're going to update it? But anyways, for running back, we have Raheem Mostert, James Cook, and Derrick Henry.
Future Cowboy Derrick Henry. Okay.
For fullback, we have Alec Ingold.
That's right.
Then for wide receiver, none of these are getting replaced. They're apparently all playing in. We have Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, and Jamar Chase. Any
Okay.
other wide receivers you think should have got the nod over them?
I don't know. I'm trying to because Jamar Chase missed some time this year, but I guess okay.
All right. Then to tight end, we have Travis Kelce, who is being replaced by Evan Ingram,
Okay.
and the other tight end is David Njoku.
That's right. Shout out. Dude got burned in the face and came back the following week and caught a touchdown.
Inspirational.
Right.
Now on to the tackles. We have Laramie Tunsil, Deion Dawkins, and Teron Armstead.
Okay.
And then for the guards, we have Quentin Nelson, Joel Patonio, and then Joe Thunley is being replaced by Kevin Zeitler.
Kevin Zeitler.
Yep, him. So I'm bad with names. I apologize. Then for center, we have Creed Humphreys, who's being replaced by Ryan Kelly.
Okay.
And we have Tyler Linderbaum.
Okay.
Now onto the defense. We have at defensive end, we have Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, and Trey Hendrickson.
Shout out.
Defensive tackle, we have Chris Jones, who's being replaced by DeForest Buckner. We have Quentin Williams and Justin Matabuke.
Matabuke, yeah.
Matabuke. All right, that's what I thought it was.
It's like Matabuke. I think it's Matabuke, something like that.
Something like that. Shout out to him. He's having that entire Ravens defense is just having a phenomenal year.
Yeah, for sure.
To outside linebacker, we have T.J. Watt, Josh Allen, and Khalil Mack.
The quarterback.
Not the quarterback. Then the last one we have Khalil Mack, who's being replaced by Jermaine Johnson.
Oh, from the Jets. Okay.
Yep. And then at middle linebacker, like I said about the Ravens defense, great this year. There's some dogs. We have both Ravens, Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen.
Patrick Queen might be on the move this offseason, so somebody's going to get a good linebacker.
Come to the Celtics. We need the linebackers. Come to the Steelers. We need linebackers.
I guess the Celtics could use a linebacker too.
No,
come to Dallas. We need them. We need them bad.
Yeah, you guys just got them hybrid safeties.
I don't want to talk about
it. To corners, we have Pat Surtain.
Okay.
Sauce Gardner.
Okay.
Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, wow. He missed like half the season. Okay.
And then Denzel Ward.
Jalen Ramsey was fantastic the second half of the season. I just thought with him missing half the year. But, hey, listen, whatever. It's a popularity thing anyway, so it's fine.
Yep. And then at free safety, we have Justin Simmons and Minkah Fitzpatrick. Which I'm kind of surprised to see Fitzpatrick.
I'm kidding. He just ruined Nick Chubb's life. That's all. But no. What was your other safety?
Justin Simmons and then Minkah Fitzpatrick. I'm surprised to see Minkah here because he did miss a good bit.
Was that both starting safeties?
No, that was just for the free safety.
Oh, okay.
And then strong safety is another Raven, Kyle Hamilton.
100% deserved it. What, his second year? He was fantastic this year. Good for him.
And so it's now to the special teams. The long snapper, we have Ross.
Actually, hold up. Before you go too far, I have a quick little story about Kyle Hamilton, okay?
Okay.
So we live, I'll just say like South Central PA. That's where I'll put it at that, okay? And I know a guy who works down in the Baltimore area, Baltimore, Maryland. Says he works for Xfinity, so he goes and does the lines outside into people's house and stuff like that. Last year, he went down into a house, knocked on the front door. It was Kyle Hamilton's house.
Wow.
Opened the door, got to meet Kyle Hamilton. Said Hamilton offered him inside, gave him something to drink, talked to him for like an hour about being drafted. Just seemed like, and my friend said, just an amazing guy. Like I said, offered him into his home to give him something to drink, so him to chill. And I was like, that's really cool. So I've been a fan of Kyle Hamilton outside of football for a while now, so I'm happy to see him playing well.
That's pretty freaking cool. Not gonna lie.
I wish I was meeting players like that, but nope.
Hey, you never know. One day.
Just
All right.
get
Oh,
this podcast shared, and in about 2 weeks I'll be meeting Brady.
yeah, we're gonna do a collab with Tom Brady.
That's right.
Now, spoiler alert, we're not.
I mean,
Unless something happens and we blow up. Probably not gonna happen. All right, now to the special teams. The long snapper is Ross Matastick.
okay.
Not sure what team he plays for. For punter, I believe he's for the Raiders. AJ Cole.
Okay.
I believe it's the Raiders. Then of course place kicker, arguably the greatest kicker of all time, holds the record for longest field goal ever made. Justin Tucker.
Oh, also by the way, Ross Matisic, I think he's a long snapper for the Jaguars.
Okay. Hey, got to show the long snapper some love. All right.
That's right.
And then the returner is Marvin Mims Jr.
Okay.
And then the special teamer is Miles Killebrew.
Matthew Slater.
Nope.
Did he retire? Maybe not.
I'm not 100% sure. He might have. But yeah, that is your 2024 NFL Pro Bowl teams, selections, whatever you want to call it.
Thank you. I'm not seeing anything here, but I thought I heard something about him retiring, but maybe not.
Maybe he just took a year off.
No, he played this year.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. But I thought it was something after the season. Maybe not. He's 38, so I mean, my God. But so you know what it is? You know how we blow up, Levi?
How?
We need to get the Swifties on our side.
That's right.
If the Swifties movement. I saw them dox a guy online because they shit talk Taylor Swift. Okay? They found this guy's personal account off a troll account because I mean listen, you get them Swifties, we'll be meeting Taylor Swift soon. Right? That's all it takes. We'll be having interviews with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift because we just got the Swiftie fans on us. So there's listen, there's no bad blood. So what I'm saying, a little drop in there of the song. Shout us out, Swifties.
Shout out to Taylor Swift, one of the most iconic singers of all time.
That's right. We're really cheesing it up now, huh? No.
Nah. All right. Yeah. So now you want to go on to the NFL head coaching changes?
Yeah. There's been a couple head coaching changes. Some coordinators becoming coaches. Some coaches becoming coordinators. But Levi's got the whole list there, so take it away.
So obviously we're going to go with some of the big ones. We have the Chargers getting Jim Harbaugh. Harbaugh,
by the way,
Michigan.
Harbaugh said that Keenan Allen isn't his plan. So people were kind of wondering if Keenan Allen was going to get traded, but apparently Keenan Allen is to stay.
That's good. Always loved Keenan. Former coach of Michigan, won a national championship this year.
Is he pulling the same thing Pete Carroll did back in early 2000s?
He might. Who knows? But
kind of trying to duck some allegations by going to the NFL.
He might. I mean, Michigan did get investigated for that cheating scandal.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into that because I could go for hours on that. So we're just going to keep this train moving.
That's right.
New England's new head coach, Jared Mayo, used to be a player for New England. I believe he was the middle linebackers coach.
Yeah, linebackers coach, yep.
I mean, got someone in-house. I mean, we'll see how he does.
I'm pretty sure he's just between being a player and a position coach. He's just been with the team for like 14, 16 years. So, I mean, he knows the team. He knows the system. So, I know a lot of people were, like, unhappy with some comments he made when he was first hired. But, like, listen, it is what it is. Like, I think he was – I know some people are like, oh, there's more deserving candidates. I'd still rather hire somebody in-house, really.
Yep. I mean, I can totally agree with that. Speaking of hiring somebody in-house, the Raiders have hired Antonio Pierce.
That was the right call.
It very much was. Antonio Pierce had the players behind him. I believe Max Crosby even came out and said, if you don't hire him, I want traded.
Yeah, which I don't know if it was legit or not, but he was just fighting for his coach.
But hey, I can't knock him.
100%.
I can't knock him for that.
I was a big fan of what he did this like back half of the season.
But he turned that Raiders team around. He really did. Hey, the Commanders got Dan Quinn, former defensive coordinator for Dallas. What do you think about that?
So I think there's some sides here to it, right? Obviously, the last memory we have of Dan Quinn is that defense just sucking against the Packers and getting like 40-some points dropped in our head. Listen, and I know emotions were really, really high after that game on Cowboys Twitter and news media about Dan Quinn needs fired, Mike McCarthy needs fired, Dak needs traded, Micah Parsons needs traded, CeeDee Lamb needs traded. People were just running rampant because of how that game played. Dan Quinn is a good defense coordinator. Now, he struggled at times with the Cowboys, and there's no denying, like, he wasn't perfect by any means. But he took over this Dallas defense in 2020, and he completely changed this defense, right? And he did it with some decent rosters, but not world-beating rosters on defense. Became one of the best teams in the league in multiple years in a row of forcing turnovers. He helped what's the word I'm trying to find? He helped catapult Trayvon Diggs having his 11 interception year 2 years ago. This year, Deron Bland having his 8 interception year with all the picks. And part of it goes to the defensive backs coach, Al Harris, who I don't know if this came out yet, but he might go to DC with Dan Quinn, which would suck. But hopefully, we can keep him around in Dallas for that DB because he's been fantastic. But he turned our defense around. And we did struggle the back half of this season into the playoffs. We did kind of struggle, but we also had quite a bit of injuries. So it's I think it was time for a change. And I think for Dallas moving on, it was probably time. But some of the slander is kind of ridiculous. He is a good defensive coordinator. Is he going to be a good coach for the Commanders? I don't really know. He helped the Falcons get to a Super Bowl. Then they ended up blowing a huge lead to the Patriots. But it's he's a defensive-minded coach, and the Commanders just traded half their defensive line, Chase Young and Sweat, at the last trade deadline. So it's I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's an okay. I'd probably grade it a C+ for the Commanders and probably a B for the Cowboys losing them.
I mean, that's totally fair. I mean, I didn't really watch a whole lot of Cowboys games to contradict what you're saying or back up what you're saying, but I believe you.
And the only thing I was really upset kind of with them is we drafted Mozzie Smith this past year, second round, defensive tackle from Michigan. Dan Quinn, Mozzie Smith is a nose tackle, which is it's pretty much what Dallas needs. We need help with the run game or stopping the run game. Dan Quinn had him drop 40 pounds to 310 and play 3-tech and kind of move him out of the nose tackle spot. And then all of a sudden, he was just getting dominated by people. I was a little confused on that. Why take your big nose tackle, make him lose weight, and slide to the side? I don't really get it. But, that's just one of the few gripes I had with him. Go ahead.
All right, now on to the Seahawks. They fired Pete Carroll, or I think, they fired him, or it was more of a mutual leaving, I believe. But anyways, they hired Mike McDonald, who used to be the Ravens defensive coordinator. That is big for the Ravens because now they lost the man that engineered this Ravens defense.
Yep.
Who held Kansas City to 17 points in the AFC Championship AFC Championship game.
Yeah,
right?
I think I don't really know how it's going to go for Seattle. I think it's a bigger loss for the Ravens than it is a gain for the Seahawks.
Yeah, because I know he was very good at disguising blitzes and coming up with blitzes. I believe there was about 10 players on that. I shouldn't say 10, but there was a good amount of people in that Ravens defense that had a sack anywhere from defensive tackles all the way to corners or safeties. So he was doing a good job at disguising a lot of things. So we'll see what he does in Seattle.
Well, I'm always curious when like coordinators become head coaches because it's like, okay, you are fantastic on one side of the ball. Now, can you help run both sides of the ball, or really all three with special teams? So I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
See how it goes. It also comes with hiring good coordinators.
Yes.
You got to know your strengths and your weaknesses, and you got to bring people in that can help with your weaknesses.
And
that can boost them weaknesses up.
With the Pete Carroll thing, he hasn't found a job, right? And I'm like 90% sure he didn't call offense. I don't think he hasn't called plays in a long time. So I think it's kind of tough for a team to want to bring in a coach who's like not helping call plays at all.
Yeah. I mean, granted, he probably found his coordinators and he was rocking and rolling with them. And
he was
who
just
knows?
on the sideline clapping, chewing gum.
Yep. Clapping and chewing gum. And
Like
granted.
No, it's like the Jason Garrett simulator. Oh, God.
But granted, Pete Carroll and Belichick, they're older. They might just be done with coaching, or they might want not a top job, but kind of just something that they can just be around, give advice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, one of those advisor roles where it's like you don't really do anything, but you have a title.
Yeah, they might just want that, or they might just say we're done, and they might go to a beachfront property and drink margaritas for the rest of their life.
Yeah, I mean, now that we're talking about football and like people retiring, did you see Teddy Bridgewater retired?
Yep, he came out I think earlier this year and said this was his last year.
Yeah, he's already got He's got a head coaching job at a high school. I think it was his old high school. So shout out Teddy Bridgewater. He was a good quarterback, but man, just like injuries killed that guy completely.
Yeah, injuries suck. Like I said, I wish they didn't happen, but great for him to take the punches and keep on rolling. Shout out to Teddy B. Now to the Titans, who, in my opinion, it was a shock when they fired Vrabel. But then again, I don't know what's going on in house. You know what I mean?
I think they're looking for a culture shift, and like I think they're just trying to move on to the next chapter. That's why I think they're not bringing back Derrick Henry. They moved on from Vrabel. Like, all right, we're just gonna. And I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is still in the team, but like I don't know how much longer that's going to be either. I think they're trying to just usher in a new era for the team.
And the Titans, I believe, have hired Brian Callahan, the former offensive coordinator for the Bengals.
Okay.
So this might be a true culture shift from pounding the rock inside to trying to draft some wide receivers and start airing this ball out.
Interesting. So he's going from Joe Burrow to Will Levis. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that might be great for Will Levis's development.
It might be, but who knows? Only time will tell.
Because I mean, they got Tajay Spears. They have a decent running back, and I think they can piece together a running game.
Yeah, and they have a decent tight end. But who knows? Only time will tell, like with everything. Now to the Panthers, which I don't even know why they hired Frank Reich in the first place.
Yeah, that was it was rough.
Now I'm gonna be honest, I can't pronounce this guy's last name. Dave Canales or something like that. I'm not 100% sure.
Hold on, let me pull it up here. Dave Canales. I don't. I'm not probably sure how to pronounce that.
He came from Tampa Bay. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about him, but it could be good for Bryce Young and that entire team to have kind of a shift. But who knows? That Panthers team is just very weird right now, especially because they don't have the pick this year. But
right.
Very weird. Now on to, I believe, the last head coaching change. The Falcons fired Arthur Smith and hired Raheem Morris, the former defensive coordinator for the Rams.
Honestly, I thought this job was Bill Belichick's. He had 2 interviews with him. They seemed to have gone well. It would have been funny for Belichick to go from the Patriots to the Falcons. With the whole 28-3 thing, that would have been kind of funny. But I could have swore this job was Bill Belichick's.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like you said, the 2 interviews, everything seemed to be going good. I thought we were going to have Belichick with the with the Falcons. But then again, maybe this was just him trolling the Falcons for one more time before he goes.
Maybe he just don't like them. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. That team has a lot to figure out. They have a lot of weapons. Well, they have some good weapons, some young weapons on the offense. They just need to figure out, one, if Desmond Ritter's their quarterback, and if he's not, figuring out what we're doing about this situation. And just, like, two, pretty much, like, you need a quarterback before you can really help guys like Bijan, Kyle Pitts, Drake London. Because without a quarterback, I mean, Kyle Pitts and Drake London aren't going to get the ball. And without a real threat of a passing game, it's going to be hard for Bijan to get open space.
It's going to be very tough. I personally think that this Falcons team should have taken the NFC South. I feel like they overall were a better team than the Bucs. But, I mean, that's the coaching of Arthur Smith.
That and Baker Mayfield just outplayed. Like, Baker Mayfield did what he had to do where they couldn't rely on Desmond Ridder for that.
Yep. I mean, I don't know a whole lot of coordinator changes, but the Steelers, they did sign Arthur Smith to be their offensive coordinator.
Have fun, buddy.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's an interesting signing. Arthur Smith was on the Texans staff, the Titans staff, and had the Titans a top 3 rushing game for 2 years in a row. But then again, he had Derrick Henry.
So, I think we can go back.
Who knows how that?
We're talking about like how he wasn't able to utilize his weapons in Atlanta, and I'm gonna be honest. I think the offensive weapons were better in Atlanta than they are in Pittsburgh. I think you have a better running back and better receivers and a better tight end. And it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Steelers have some decent weapons and stuff like that, but it's like, if he can't get it done with, he's kind of going to a similar situation, just slightly downgraded, where it's like, we have some talent in the backfield, we have a couple decent receivers and a tight end, but we don't really have a quarterback. And you're going to Pittsburgh, where it's literally the same thing.
Yeah, you got 2 running backs. Najee, I don't think, has the explosion like he used to. Like he did, well, I should say used to. His career is still fairly young, but
running back shelf life pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I don't know, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting season. I mean, hey, with Arthur Smith's reliance on the second tight end, maybe Washington 6'8" tight end, maybe he'll get some touches for once.
I don't know.
It's just gonna be an interesting year. Just to go 9-7, 9-8, 10-7, lose first round of the playoffs again.
Oh, we love it. Yeesh. Was that all you had there?
Yeah, that's about all I have. We already went over the trade, got the All-Star and Pro Bowls done, all the head coaching jobs that I could find. Who do you think the Cowboys are going to get to fill that defensive coordinator spot?
I have been hearing rumors that Mike Zimmer is going to get the job.
Okay.
Former Minnesota Vikings, and he was on our coaching staff years ago. I don't know. Do I love it? Maybe. I mean, he was on the Cowboys coaching staff last time we won a Super Bowl, so maybe that's a little bit of a. Maybe that's the reason we haven't won since the 90s. We haven't had Mike Zimmer on our team.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Another thing that I do want to talk about, because it is prevalent, people are discussing it. The Chicago Bears, do you think they should move on from Justin Fields and draft Caleb Williams? Or are you on my side to where you think you give him another year and you draft Marvin Harrison Jr.?
That's tough. So part of it's, I don't know what next year's draft class is going to look like quarterback-wise, right? Because if you don't have a strong quarterback class coming out, you might not have much of a choice other than to draft a quarterback this year.
I believe the top quarterbacks coming up are Jalen Daniels, I think, from LSU.
Isn't he in this year's draft class?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about next offseason.
Oh, you're talking about net.
If you
Oh,
want to
okay,
if you want
okay.
to
I
have
got
Justin
you.
Fields wait a year, then you're going
I
to have to
got
look at
you.
next year's quarterback draft class. So it's like if there's not a strong quarterback class, if next year's quarterback class isn't strong, you might regret not taking Caleb Williams this year.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. But also it comes to the point to where people are making the meme that Justin Fields is just going to get tackled in the backfield, and Marvin Harrison Jr. is just going to be standing there like, "Where's the ball?" And then they have Caleb Williams just slinging the ball, and it's just like, well, you're going to have the same O line, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't change the time to throw based on quarterbacks. It doesn't. You got pretty much.
Well, okay, go ahead.
Well, I mean, like standing in the pocket from the snap of the ball to when you throw it. The time to throw, like the time from when you snap the ball to when you first get hit. It's going to be similar.
I get what you're saying. Okay, I get what you're saying. Where it's like your all-line is going to be the same. The difference though is that but the problem is Justin Fields and Caleb Williams both fall into the same category, where sometimes they unnecessarily leave the pocket.
Yeah.
And they kind of force pressure on themselves. So it's like you might be mad at Justin, like why do you leave the pocket? He's bringing the pressure on himself. Caleb Williams does the same thing, right? And it's tough because there's a chance you draft Caleb Williams, and you basically get a new product you basically just get another Justin Fields in the terms of just not bringing the team over the top like you thought. Then you draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and you keep Justin Fields, and he's ass this year. Well, we don't really have a quarterback we can draft this year, so maybe we try to bring in a veteran. Then you're really setting yourself back because, I mean, they don't really have a wide receiver group. The running back group, their offense in general, just isn't very good. So I think they could use anything. But of course, they're going to have they have the first overall pick?
They have the first overall pick from the Panthers, and then I think they have the 9th.
They probably could get. Well, they won't be able to get both Marvin Harrison Jr. and Caleb Williams, but they'd be able to get a quarterback and a receiver.
I did see
draft Marvin Harrison at 1? No, I don't think so. But you might be able to trade back a couple picks.
I did see a mock draft. I forget who did it, but I know it was a bigger name that did it. They had the Bears taking Caleb Williams at 1, and then I think it's Washington, one of the Washington's top receiver at 9. I don't have the name offhand.
I think I have it right here. Okay, so this one, I'll go through the top 10. This is CBS Sports. And it has first overall pick has the Chicago Bears taking Caleb Williams. Second overall pick, the Commanders taking Drake May, the quarterback from North Carolina. Pick 3 has the Patriots selecting Jaden Daniels, the quarterback from LSU. 4 has the Arizona Cardinals selecting Marvin Harrison Jr. from Ohio State. 5 has the Chargers picking Brock Bowers, tight end from Georgia. 6 has the Giants getting Malik Neighbors, a wide receiver from LSU. 7 has the Tennessee Titans taking Joe Alt, the offensive tackle from Notre Dame. Pick 8 has the Falcons taking Dallas Turner, the edge from Alabama. And then pick 9 has the Bears taking Roma Odunze, I think it's Odunze, the wide receiver from Washington. And then pick 10 being the Penn State tackle, Fashanu, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, to the Jets. So this has them taking Odunze and Caleb Williams.
I mean, that's not bad. If you do go Caleb Williams 1, I think 9 has to be a wide receiver in my opinion. There's also a theory to where you trade up from 9 if you have a good feeling that 2 and 3 aren't going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. You trade up to 4 or 5 and then select him there.
So the problem is so what I'm thinking is it would be smarter for them to trade back from 1.
Yeah.
Say if you know what, we're not completely sold on wanting to draft Caleb Williams this year. Let a team do the Giants trade it from 6 to take him?
They might. I mean,
or does the Patriots at 3 want to move up to 1 to guarantee they'd get him over the Commanders at 2, or the Commanders jump up 1, make sure they grab him. Then you're taking Marvin Harrison Jr. at 3 instead of at 1, which I think is just a little bit better value. And then you can take, now that you've given one of those quarterbacks away, either Drake May or Jaden Daniels going to fall to you later at 9.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so we're going to take you're going to take your, like, we'll put it this, like your A tier quarterback and like a B plus tier receiver. I know he's better than B plus, but I'm just trying to differentiate a little bit. Or do you want to take a B plus quarterback and an A tier receiver?
I'd probably take the B quarterback and A receiver.
I think you can. Yeah, I think, like I said, and we don't really know if Caleb Williams is going to turn out the way we want him to. With the way, like I said, he gets a little skittish in the pocket. So I would feel more comfortable trading back to like 3 and taking Marvin Harrison Jr. than taking like Jaden Daniels later than I would taking Caleb Williams at 1.
Yeah, I mean that's justifiable. I mean, I can't really argue with it there. It's just I just find it funny how I shouldn't say Bears fans, but there are people out there that are just like, hey, Caleb Williams is going to be better than Justin Fields when, I mean, if you look at their games, they're kind of identical. But then again, Caleb Williams is younger. He has more room to develop, but
I don't know. Caleb Williams could very much be a fantastic quarterback in this league, but you're just hoping. That's really all. Because Justin Fields was great in college too. So I don't know, whatever.
What do you think the Cowboys need to get in a draft? Not name specific, but like position wise.
Anything that can stop the run, dude. I'm talking D tackles, linebacker, like off ball linebackers, just anything like that can stop the run. We need it desperately. If we can get Mozzie Smith kind of come around his second year, that'd be a fantastic help. We're getting Overshown back because he missed his whole rookie year with an injury. The linebacker from Texas is going to be there coming back next season. But I don't think those two coming in are going to be enough. I think we need to take another one, another big guy, another linebacker. Because like you mentioned earlier, we just our linebacker role is basically a bunch of hybrid safeties and then Leighton Van Resch. So like and I don't know how long Leighton Van Resch is even going to be on the team. To be honest with you, we need just somebody that can get in their nose in on the D line or on the linebacker and just stop the run. I know some people were like, we probably should be looking to take a tackle because Tyron Smith is getting up there. Wouldn't be a bad pick, but I could probably wait till the second, third round. Running back, we need, because I don't think Tony Pollard's going to be on the team. So it's like we really don't have much at running back then. But it's also something we can like second, third round. Like there's a couple of spots in the later rounds of the draft. I think you can get good value pickups, but I think we need to really pay attention to this front seven on defense.
Oh yeah, and I totally agree with you. Watching some of the games that were on TV for the Cowboys, and I don't want to bring up bad memories, but I believe it was the Bills game, and the Bills just ran the ball.
Just James Cook just devoured it. It's just tough when like DeMarcus Lawrence is a good run defender. Micah is a pretty good run defender. But it's like once you get past that, you're basically running against a bunch of defensive backs. And it's like James Cook can make a miss, he can get through people. It's like Aaron Jones had like 3 touchdowns on us in the playoff game. We badly need. We don't have. Listen, I know we're not going to be a top 5 rushing defense this season. It's just not going to happen like that. But we have to be respectable. We can't let teams consistently get 5-6 yards running right up the middle against us.
Now, do you think if Dan Campbell would have taken Micah Parsons and moved him back to middle linebacker to help stop the run, do you think that would have made a difference?
No. Because then you're losing that on the edge, right? And I mean, okay, would have helped maybe a little bit. Would have really made a difference though? No.
Okay.
Like it wouldn't have made enough of a difference where it's like, okay, like the impact wouldn't have been enough where it's like, okay, yeah, this is our answer. Because he is a good rusher, so it's like you want him rushing the quarterback too. Now I didn't like that he became a full-time defensive end. I didn't really like that, and I think that'll change now. That Campbell's out the door, or not Campbell, Dan Quinn, not Dan Campbell. You got me confused.
Yeah, that's my bad.
So like I don't know. I think it'll change. He needs to play a hybrid role. He needs to play rushing, and then he needs to be back at off-ball linebacker too. But no, we need first off, and again, now that Dan Quinn's going, we need to draft a big nose tackle and not make him drop 40 pounds because we're going to play him at 3 tech. It made no sense. And I'm hoping Mozzie can either put back weight or just learn how to really play in that role. So, I mean, like I said, you get another defensive tackle. You get Mozzie Smith to develop. It's like basically you got 2 new defensive tackles going into the season. So, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think there's enough they can do in one offseason to really turn this rush defense around, but they can make big strides this year.
Oh yeah, and I hope they do. It's always good to see Cowboys up on top of the NFC. Makes everything more interesting.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, we'll move on. I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Not really. I think we kind of covered a lot. There wasn't really too much big stuff going on, so I think we covered Wednesday. We were thinking about maybe Cole's going to be on, right?
Yeah,
Because
maybe.
the trade deadline, the NBA trade deadline, is on Thursday, so we're going to be in here on Wednesday, probably just giving some, any trades that have happened from now until then, just talking about that. Maybe some predictions we have for some trades and just seeing like that. And then next Saturday is going to be our Super Bowl preview episode. Obviously the big game is next Sunday the 11th, so we'll be talking about that. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else you have.
No, I think we covered about everything that we talked about earlier.
All right. Well, hey, thank you guys for listening to this episode of Timeout with J and G. I am Jay over there, and that's G over there. And we will catch you in the next one. Peace.